Okay, so what do you do when you feel like you're doing so much, taking all the action, but nothing is working? It just feels like constant efforting. So this is another question that I got through my newsletter. And the truth that through my experience, I know for sure, is that your internal reality creates your external reality, right? And I know this, and I've embodied this, because of my healing experience, but I've seen it again and again and again when it comes to other areas of life, including career, including purpose, and things that we are creating in our life. So my question to you is, if you feel like you're doing a lot and it's super effortful and you're not seeing any results, where are you wobbly in your energy, right? Are you in the energy of lack? Are you constantly putting your worth in that thing in the future? Are you saying, I can't do this until I finally land that job? Or I can't have this feeling, I can't have this experience until I finally get the next client? Are you putting the feelings of happiness and joy into the future and ultimately into something that's outside of yourself, right? And this is definitely a more spiritual concept, but I've just seen it so many times that it's really undeniable to me. And I remember there was this period when I was really wanting a game design client, and I was like feeling super stressed about it, to the point where I was like, okay, I just need to feel happy. That ended up being my goal. I had an intention to feel more joy in my life, and within a week, a new client landed in my inbox, right? I didn't do anything different. Sure, I had my website up, I was continuously updating my portfolio, putting out work, etc. I was doing basic action, but I didn't have any additional thing that I was doing. It was my internal state that I shifted. So I always want to redirect our focus back to that embodied self-worth, right? Because yes, the action is absolutely one part, but it's also how you feel about your life and your future and your purpose in general. And I think practically how you can do this is get back to your why. Get back to why you want to make changes in your life in your first place. Like, why do you want the new job? Why do you might want to make changes in your career? Why do you want to do meaningful work, right? What changes could happen? What realities could you create? Who could you impact, both in your immediate community and family and beyond that? And what does that really mean? And I think another way to reframe that is, if you always put your worth and your joy and your happiness in the future, it's always going to be that way, even if you reach that goal. And many of you have probably experienced that already, of like, okay, I got what I wanted. How come I still feel like I'm lacking, right? How come I still feel like, okay, I finally got this, the thing that I wanted so badly, but what's the next thing? And we're constantly in that loop. And that is the true feeling of dissatisfaction and unfulfillment. And to reverse that, really, we have to address the internal part first and get back to our authenticity and what brings us joy, and not what other people want from us, and then follow that through the sense of our own self-worth. So I invite you through this live to think about, like, what's your commitment to your internal self, right? What's a practice that you can do every day? And something that's super, super simple is to put yourself back in the game. And I have a podcast episode on this called The Comparison Trap. But what are the things that are going right in your life? We're constantly conditioned to look at the things that are going wrong, right? Like, maybe you're in a job search right now and you're like, oh my gosh, I only got one interview and I didn't get any others in the last week or something. Well, there's, plenty of people and also situations where they haven't gotten any interviews, or maybe they haven't even put as many job applications in, Or, if it's a hobby that you're pursuing, maybe you made one video about it, but you wanted to make 10, and now you're feeling bad about even making one. So we compound these negative feelings about ourselves because we're constantly comparing ourselves to this unattainable future state, right? Because we're wired to always be in a state of growth. So if we're putting our success in a future state and not in the present moment and comparing backwards, then we're constantly being in that feeling of lack. And ironically, that creates more lack in our actual reality. Because again, the internal creates the external. All right. I hope that was helpful. I have a masterclass on all of this and more next Monday. DM me Unlocked if you want to learn more about it. We're going to go really deep into what it actually means to uncover your purpose, actually embody your self-worth so you can follow it and find your dream career and what you want to do next, and then take quantum leap action to make it happen.